Today we're going to talk about subtracting real numbers. Before I begin, I want you to know this is the main thing that we're going to learn today. Subtraction really means adding the... That's exactly right. So that's the definition of subtraction. Okay, so definition of subtraction. You know how we talked about just now? Subtracting like this. If I have a minus b, it really means a plus negative b. It's really a shortcut. A minus b is a shortcut of writing a plus negative b. People got tired of writing a plus negative b all the time. They said, oh, let's make a shortcut, and it became a minus b. You can think about it that way. Yeah, but really, what subtraction really means is really an addition. Okay, so here in words, to subtract b, you add the opposite of b. That's what we do. Okay, so write this down. I'll wait. So, for example, if I have something like this, 9 minus 12. Okay, what's the answer? What's 9 minus 12? Negative 3. A lot of you, everyone should know that. But I'm going to actually use the definition of subtraction. Okay, so to actually show you how this works. So, can somebody tell me then, in terms of addition, what 9 minus 12 really means? Yes.
9 plus -12.
Exactly. So I want you to do something like this for your homework tonight. Okay, I know that it's maybe sort of simple, but at least for this section. And actually, you will find that, you know, of course, we get negative 3, right? As we said, because now we're just following the rules for addition, right? Like last time. Question? Yeah, please rewrite all subtraction into addition. At least just for this section. Okay, but you would actually find that addition is a lot nicer because addition has properties that subtraction does not. Can somebody tell me some of the properties that addition has? That's really nice. What do you think? Yes, how about Samuel? That's correct. Addition has, right, this property called community property. You could add in any order you want. Can we do that for subtraction? No, you see how nice that is? There's another one. Yes, how about Chuck? Yeah, addition has associative property. You could associate or group them, right, in any way that you like for all the addition. Subtraction doesn't work that way. So you will find that it has really a good, it's really good to change everything to addition. Okay? So at least for this section, I want you to try that. And you will, hopefully you will find that this is a lot better as you change things into addition. Okay? So, okay, again, I know all of you know how to do this, okay? But what's the answer, by the way? 3 minus negative 4 class, what's the answer? Yeah, it's 7. Can you then show me that you understand this definition of subtraction by changing this to an addition? Go ahead, everybody try. I'll give you time. What do you get when you do that? Okay. And of course, the answer should come out to be 7. How can we use the definition of subtraction in this case? Michael, what should I write here? As I change this to an addition. What does 3 minus negative 4 really mean? 3 plus? Yeah, 3 plus 4. Why does this become 3 plus 4, guys? Yeah. You could think of it as 2 negative equals positive. That's a shortcut. But we're really using the definition of subtraction, are we not? Yeah. Tawar, how are we using this? Yeah, exactly. The subtraction becomes addition, and you write the opposite of negative 4. Class, what's the opposite of negative 4? 4. Okay, a lot of you may see, oh, you know, you see 2 subtraction symbol, right? It's a shortcut, but the reason why we write this as 3 plus 4 is because we're using the definition of subtraction. Of course, that's how we get 7. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Again, use the definition of subtraction, and go ahead and give me the answer to this simple question. All right, who would like to tell me how to do this? Eugene, what do you think?
You change the plus to minus 2.
Yeah, subtraction to addition. And what does negative 10 become? What do we write? Instead of negative 10, we write? Yeah, positive 10. Because opposite of negative 10, right? You see how subtraction became addition? What's opposite of negative 10? Positive 10. So, of course, class, what's the answer? 4. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Any question? All right, and let's go to example 2. We ready? Let's go to example 2 then. Here's example 2. It says Justify each step. Do you think you're going to see something like this for your test next week, Friday? Yes. Okay. And this is a nice review. So here is our first. Here is expression, and I'm going to give you the first step, justification, and it's because it's given. Okay. So I give it to you. Now, can you then fill in the rest of the blanks? We don't see the blanks yet, but next to these, how do I go from first step to second step to third, and then the last? Okay. Go ahead and fill in the correct info. Okay. Correct properties, or you could also write definitions also. Okay. Go ahead, everybody try. Okay, so how do I go from first step to second step? Like I said, it doesn't have to be just properties that we learn. Turns out for these things, you could actually write down definitions also. So, anybody see how I got, how 5 minus 7 became 5 plus negative 7? Yes, sir. Jason? Exactly. So, that one, right? So, you may not have seen this before. Now that we learned this definition, on your test, I may ask you something like this, okay? So as we go from subtraction to addition, right? Of course, you have to write the opposite of the number. That's because of definition of subtraction. Okay, who could tell me then what to write next? What property am I using here next? How about Dana? Substitution, what? Substitution property, right? You gotta write substitution property, right? In place of 2 plus 5, I substitute that with 7, right? Don't they have the same value? 2 plus 5 and 7. Okay. Lastly, what is then 7 plus negative 7? Should we write substitution here? Not really. I know that it is sort of a substitution, but this has a special name for this. Patty, what did you write? When you add the opposite, you get 0. It's called the property of. Exactly. It's called the property of opposite. Okay, so property of opposite is the answer. Okay, please don't write substitution there, okay? This is a special type of a substitution. If you add the opposite of yourself, you get 0. You guys remember that one? It's called the property of opposite. Okay. Does that help you? Okay. Let's do one more, okay? Because you're gonna see something like this on your test, okay? Next Friday. So let me give you another one, and I would like you to fill it out and justify each step, okay? Here's example 2b. I have 2x minus 5x plus negative 2. First, of course, is given. And go ahead and write out the left side and then justify each of these steps, okay? How do I go from first step to the second to third, and third to fourth? Okay, go ahead, I'll give you time. And I don't mind you guys talking with your group members if you're stuck, or you can help each other out, okay? Go ahead. So a lot of you are sort of stuck on the last step, but let's see. For the first step, going from first to second step, what property or that definition do we use to go from first step to second step? How about, who should I ask? Who haven't I called here? Hold on, somebody that I haven't called. Oh, wait. How about Camila? What do you think? That's exactly right. Raise your hand if you got the definition of subtraction for the first one. Very good. As we can see, it was 2x minus 5x. Now what? We have 2x plus what? Opposite of 5x, which is negative 5x. Do you see why it's definition of subtraction? That we could actually write that second step. Now, we wrote 2x plus negative 5x as what? Negative 3x. What's the reason for that one? How about Dakota? What do you think? Yeah, you're right. How many people wrote down substitution property? Don't just write substitution. It's called substitution property. Okay? Very good. Now, for the last step, they went from 3x plus negative 2. We normally write it as 3x minus 2, don't we? What property or definition are we using here? Who thinks they know? Oh, one person? 2? 3? 4? Spencer, what do you think, sir? Definition of subtraction. Do you agree, Livy?
Yeah.
Anybody have different answer? Yeah, what did you think? Uh-huh. Substitution? Okay. Actually, the best answer for that one. Yeah, what do you think? You have another?
Definition of addition.
Definition of addition. Oh, okay. Actually, I see why you would say that. Tawar, what do you think? So, okay, yeah, it is definition of subtraction. Turns out you could actually go backwards for definitions. Okay, we're used to going forward like this, right? If it was 3x minus 2, we're used to writing it as 3x plus negative 2. Now, if you go the other way, still we're using the definition of subtraction. Yes, sir.
Then what's the difference between subtraction and addition?
Yeah, they're actually the same.
Oh.
Yeah, subtraction is like I said, it's adding the opposite. Right?
Yeah.
Like I said, this 3 minus 2 really means this, 3x plus negative 2. So subtraction is really an addition. You're right. Does that make sense? Yeah, question?
There's a definition of addition.
No, we don't have definition of addition. Yeah. So good. Yeah. We haven't learned that one, right? We haven't talked about definition of addition, have we? That's kind of interesting. But we have talked about it just today. We just talked about definition of subtraction. Okay, so even if we go backwards, it is still a definition of subtraction. Please keep that in mind as you're doing your homework tonight, okay? So don't think that we have to always go forward, go backwards, okay? All right, any question? Does this make sense? All right, let's move on then to the next example. So we're gonna do an example 3 here. It says simplify. It just says simplify. But I put a star here because many times people mess this up a lot. And I know that some of you could just do this in your head and get the answer right away. By the way, can somebody tell me the answer? What's the answer? Okay. Yeah, what do you think? 4. How many people say it's 4? Okay, that's wrong. It's not 4. That's why, yeah, it's actually negative 4. That's why I want you to be careful, okay? So a lot of times people just do this in their head and get this wrong, okay? And think the answer is 4. That's why we're going to do this step by step using the definition of subtraction and so forth, okay? So using the definition of subtraction, by the way, how many subtraction do you see right now? 3? Actually,
2. 1.
how many people say 3? Raise your hand. 3. Okay, how many subtraction symbol do you see? 3. Okay, how many people see 2 subtraction symbol? How many see 1 subtraction symbol? It turns out it's 1. The rest is negative sign. It's not subtraction. There's 1 subtraction. Where is the subtraction symbol here? Raise your hand, raise your hand. Where is it? Samuel? Right in front of the parentheses. This is the only subtraction symbol we have. This means negative y. This means negative y again. Right? That's negative symbol. Right? Does that make sense? Please be careful. So we have 1 subtraction, right? But using the definition of subtraction, we need to write what? Change the subtraction into addition and write its opposite. Well, I don't see any number next to it. I only see a parentheses. Is there a number in front? Really? There actually is a number. Okay. What number is there? Lindsay? I see what you mean. There is an invisible 1. You see what I mean? I see why you said negative 1. Because in front of the parentheses, right? Remember I told, right? We have it up there. There's an invisible 1 in front of this parentheses. Even though you don't see any number, right? If you don't see any number there, it really means 1 times this whole parentheses, right? Does that make sense? Now, let me ask you this. If I just had this, negative y minus 1, do we know how to change this into an addition? Using the definition of subtraction? Yeah, we could do that. Right here, we couldn't, right? You see, if I had this, if you don't have any number, like, how do you do that, right? But now, because we know that there is an invisible 1, we know how to rewrite this as an addition. Who could tell me how to rewrite this as an addition? How about Mimi? What do you think? How would negative y minus 1 be written as an addition? Negative y plus. If you had negative y minus 1, right? Do you know how to change this as an addition using definition of subtraction? No? Because remember I told you subtraction is really adding the opposite, right? Correct? I want you to all think about this as a group. How would you change this into an addition? Go ahead. You don't know how to change negative y? What's 2 minus 3? How do you change 2 minus 3 as an addition?
2 plus 3.
No, 2 plus negative 3. So how would you change negative y minus y plus 1? Oh, hold on. Okay, think about it. Okay, everybody think about it. Alright? Right? This is simple subtraction, isn't it? Because now I have this invisible 1, I just wrote it now. No, the first number stays the same. Wait, hold on. Guys, if I have x minus 1, how do you change that as an addition? X plus? Do you change the first number at all? What if I have negative x plus 1? I mean, negative x minus 1. What's that? That's a negative x plus negative 1. Mimi, how do I change negative y minus 1 as an addition using the definition of subtraction?
Negative y minus 1.
That's what I have. So how do I rewrite that as an addition? Negative y plus
1.
really?
I'm so confused.
Really? Mimi, what's 3 minus 1? That's it. Right? But how do you write that as an addition? 3 minus 1 is same as 3 plus using the definition of subtraction.
Negative 1.
3 minus 1 is same as 3 plus.
Plus negative 1.
Exactly. That's what the definition of subtraction says, right?
Yeah.
So instead of 3, I have negative y. What's negative y minus 1? As an addition. Negative y plus?
Negative y plus negative
Exactly. That's what
1.
I'm... There you go. Isn't it just negative y plus negative 1? Right, guys? Yeah. Okay, and of course, we happen to have a something in parentheses there. Does that make sense? Now, guess what we're going to do with that negative 1? We're going to distribute that. Does that make sense? If you do it this way, you won't make a silly mistake of thinking that the answer for this is 4. You will see this will not be 4 because as you distribute this negative 1, you get negative y plus, what's negative times negative?
Positive.
Positive. Plus, right? Plus, you know, it's always, addition is always addition. Negative 1 times 4. What's negative 1 times 4, guys? Negative 4. What property am I using right here? Distributive property. As I distribute this negative 1. Does that make sense? And of course, what's negative y plus y? It is 0. It's the property opposite, right? Property of opposite tells us that it's 0. And so the answer is negative 4. I'm going to do a checking for understanding on this very soon. So I want you to know how to do this because we'll just do one at the end. Do you understand how to do this? How many people think they get this? Okay, I'm going to give you one more. Let's see if you really got this, okay? Try this on by yourself. Okay, hold on. Try example 4. It is very similar to the one that we just did. Okay. And I want you to write out all these steps, like writing that invisible one and so forth, if there is invisible one that you need. Okay, go ahead. I'll give you time. You may ask your group members. That's fine too. Go ahead. I'll give you time. Okay, very good. As I looked at your work, a lot of you got the right answer. A lot of you actually skipped some steps, but some of you actually did it correctly. Very good. So what I wanted you to do on this was, first of all, I wanted you to recognize that, well, there's only one subtraction here, right? This one right in the middle, right next to n. But there is no number, so you can't really write the opposite of the number. Well, there is a number, isn't there?
1.
There's that invisible 1. Some of you skipped this step. I guess that's okay, but it'd be nice if you actually write this. Then, it's really same. You could just actually think of this as really n minus 1. Can't you not? Right? How do you rewrite n minus 1 as an addition? It is the same as n plus class negative 1. And of course, you happen to have that parentheses next to it. And of course, because you have a parentheses and it's negative 1 times this whole thing, you have to distribute this negative 1, right? So you get n plus, what is negative 1 times 3? Negative 3, right? And of course, what's n plus n? Aren't they like terms? So you can add them together. You get 2n plus negative 3. And of course, I could go, do I just leave it this way or should I simplify further? Yeah, you don't normally leave it this way, right? Of course, when you're actually simplifying, you want to change everything to addition. But at the very end, when you're simplifying to get the answer, you just write 2n minus 3. What property am I using from going from here to here? Definition of subtraction. Does that make sense? How many people got 2n minus 3 with all these steps? Because a lot of you got the answer correct, but you didn't put all the steps here. Did you get this step? I would say the most important step right here would be something like this, right? Okay, very good. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Can you do something like this for your correction check? I mean, not correction check. For your C4U today, checking for understanding at the end. Okay, very good. All right. Let's move on. Okay, here's our C4U for the day. It says to simplify negative 15 minus 6 minus negative 7 minus negative 10. Notice this one is actually a little bit easier. It has it does not have any variables. But can you show me how to do this one using the definition of subtraction with all that step that we talked about. So I want you to first change everything to addition first, okay? Then simplify. Can you do that? Okay. Go ahead. I'll give you time, and take it as if you're taking a test, okay? So I know that, right? How much we understood. Go ahead. I'll give you time. So hopefully, like I said, I told you this one's sort of interesting because there's no variables, you know. So there are many ways to do this. But I first told you to change everything to addition. How many subtractions do we have here? Raise your hand. Show me with your fingers. 1, 2, 3. How many do you see? Everybody, I want 100% participation here. How many subtractions do you see? Everybody, I don't see you. What do you think? How many subtractions do you see in this? A lot of you have 2. Actually, it's 3. It's 3. There are 3 subtraction. Hey, listen. Hey guys, is this first one? Is that a subtraction symbol?
No.
That's negative 15. What about this one?
Yeah.
What about this?
No.
Yes, it is. It's subtraction. It's 6 minus this whole thing. And is this a subtraction symbol?
No.
What about this?
Yeah.
So there are 3 of them. One right here between 15 and 6. There's another one between 6 and this whole parentheses, and this one right here between negative 7 and negative 10. So if I want to change this to addition, that's easy. What's negative 15 minus 6? That's same as negative 15 plus? What about 6 minus, what's here really?
Plus -1.
There's that invisible 1. I actually wrote that down. Okay, if the person wrote this down, give them, okay, just put a check. By the way, how many of these people that you graded, how many people put that invisible 1? How many people didn't put that in? Please, next time put them in, okay? Okay, then, of course, you get this. Now, I want you to give them a half credit if they got this. Negative 15 plus, negative 6, plus, what is this 1, really? Negative 1, right? Plus negative 1 times this whole thing. Negative 7 plus 10. Okay, if they got this step, the third, if they skip the second step, that's okay. But if they got this third step, give them a half point, okay? Because that was worth half point. Yeah? What did they put?
Negative 15
Uh-huh.
minus 6
Uh-huh.
multiplied by negative 7 plus negative 1 multiplied by
That's not right. Okay, I think. We'll take a look at it later, but if it doesn't look something like this, then it's not good. Okay, next. Yeah. Then hold on, I'll give it. Okay, then, listen, then of course, there are many ways to do this problem. By the way, by the order of operation, what should you do first? What's in the, parentheses. What's negative 7 plus 10?
Negative 3. Have 3.
Yeah, do you have to distribute this negative 1 first? No, you could do it, but, so the best way to do that is, wouldn't it be just, right, first you could do negative 15 plus negative 6, you get 21, plus, right, isn't that just 3? You gotta, don't you have to do what's inside the parentheses first? Okay, and you get negative 24 if you do it. Or if they didn't, that's okay. If they just distribute that negative 1 and got 7 plus negative 10, that's fine. Okay, you could do it that way. Right, as long as you do. And no matter what, you should get negative 24. So if they got negative 24 without these steps, just give them a half point. But I'm really looking for this step right here, changing everything to addition. Okay, using the definition of subtraction part. Okay, so don't give it back to you yet. Just fix it for them. If they don't have this step, write it for them. Okay. Of the people that you graded, how many people got the whole thing right? Raise your hand. Whole thing right. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, better than last. Okay. The period 1 only had 5. Okay, so you guys have, that's good. All right, how many people just got the answer negative 24 without the addition? Okay. All right, good. How many people actually understand now what I'm expecting you to do for your homework tonight? Changing to, okay, does that make sense? Yes, Mimi, do you understand how? Give it back to the person now, go ahead. All right.